Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Earlier today, I did a story about Glasgow's low emission zone and how, despite the intention of improving air quality, that in the sort of nearly 3 weeks that it's been operating, the air quality has got worse. Well, that is just sort of so typical of the SNP, but I don't want you to think that it is only the SNP. The Labour Party leader, Kier Starmer, he's up in Scotland at the moment, and he's pushing all this. Oh, we're going to be clean energy. Scotland's going to be the leader in clean energy. And when the Labour Party, forms the next government of the United Kingdom, we're going to open up this wonderful clean place in Scotland. Because basically, what he wants to do is take all the highly skilled, highly paid jobs in Aberdeen, in the coal fields and in the oil fields, and scrap them and get rid of, make everyone unemployed, and make everyone poverty-stricken and miserable up in the northeast of Scotland, because obviously all the oil, we have no other need for oil anymore. We don't need oil. We don't need it in our cars. We don't need it as lubricant. We don't need it in pharmaceuticals. We don't need it for our plastics. We don't need oil, apparently, according to Kier Starmer. But what we do need is clean energy. So he's up there and he's pushing this clean energy thing. And he's driving around and he's going, look, we've got this nice hydrogen-powered bus. Except the bus breaks down and he has to get on a diesel. And if that isn't bad enough, he then gets lost. The bus driver gets lost and doesn't know where he's going. You couldn't make it up. What is it with political parties and energy policy? They haven't got an absolute clue. They want to go, oh, we'll stop oil, because of some nutters doing a march in London. Oh, yes, that's what people want. People don't want that. People know full well you cannot stop oil until you have got a viable alternative. And until then, we are absolutely dependent on oil. And I don't just mean for driving your cars. However, these are idiots that we're dealing with. And they think, whoa, so they're going to destroy all those highly paid, highly skilled jobs so that they can all become, I don't know, unicorn farmers or something. I have no idea what his plan is. He's got no idea what his plan is. But it is at least nice to see that Karma has a plan. It's Karma for Starmer. Let's look at this story. So, Labour's green power launch gets off to a disastrous start as Kier Starmer is forced to swap a hydrogen bus for a big dirty diesel, which then gets lost on his way to the venue. I just love these things when they go wrong like that. They're always spectacular. But 2 in one day. It's the heavens are shining on me. They really are. Starmer had planned to take journalists on a hydrogen bus to the venue in Leith, but it was replaced by a diesel, which then took a wrong turn on its way to the venue, because nobody knows what the direction of travel is for the Labour Party. Kier Starmer's vow to position Labour at the head of a green power revolution started badly today after his plan for an eco-friendly journey to give speech saw him get lost on a diesel bus in Edinburgh. Now, this whole oil thing is all rubbish because you've got these nutters down in London walking slowly to just stop oil. Ask them how they got to their destination. Oil was involved. Ask them if they're wearing clothes. Oil was involved. Ask them everything. Oil. In fact, petrol and diesel are actually waste products. They had to find a use for petrol and diesel, and that is why they basically invented the petrol engine. The first diesel engine didn't even run on diesel. It ran on peanut oil. But they started cracking all the oil, and they said, we've got all this petrol left over, what are we going to do with it? And they invented the petrol engine to get rid of petrol. Here's the thing. You're still going to be drilling for oil because of the million things that we make every day that absolutely need oil. So, okay, you're not putting the petrol into cars. What are you going to do with the petrol? Nobody has answered this question yet. Because you can't just let it evaporate into the air, because that is way, way, way worse for the environment than burning it. And you can't store it, because that is just such a massive explosion risk. And if you're going to burn it to get rid of it, why not just burn it in a car engine and be done? Nobody thinks these things through because they're all, look at me, I'm full of it, I'm very good, me, I'm going to save the planet. And then you ask them a hard question and they go, I don't know the answer to that because I'm a moron. Anyway, the opposition leader had planned to take journalists on a hydrogen bus to the venue in Leith ahead of an announcement on an eco-friendly energy generation. He either means sun or wind. Scotland, okay, I'll grant you get wind, but not all the time. And as for sun, hey, I've been to Scotland a lot. Yeah, okay, get a little bit. Not enough to run the entire country. Anyway, there's only one clean energy that can possibly do it, and that's nuclear. And even Humza Yousaf says no nukes. It doesn't want nuclear power in Scotland. You're fucked, aren't you? Anyway, there was a bemusement as the vehicle was replaced by a diesel, which then took a wrong turn on its way to the venue in the port area, with the driver having to be guided by a Daily Mail reporter. Yeah, I'm presuming he kept saying, right. Then going left, is he? Anyway, a Labour spokesman said the company providing the bus had problems with the hydrogen vehicle, but was unable to provide more information. Yeah, the problem being, hydrogen vehicles are incredibly hard. They require so much maintenance because the burning of hydrogen has to be done under such high pressure to get any kind of energy out of it. Anyway, after getting to the headquarters of Nova Innovation, a tidal energy company, Sir Keir doubled down on his plan to halt further exploration of North Sea oil and gas if Labour takes power. Now, I can guarantee nobody in Aberdeen or the northeast of Scotland will be voting for Labour. Labour have just said goodbye to the northeast of Scotland. Well done, Sir Kier Starmer, you moron. And you still haven't come up with an alternative for oil. Anyway, he vows instead to focus on green power generation. So this includes ripping up planning rules that protect the countryside so that more wind farms can be built. Is that what the people of Scotland want? They want their beautiful countryside, all these wonderful glens and lochs and all that, ripped up and having these huge bird choppers thrown up there across the whole of the glens, because it's the only way. Is you've got to have to cover about a quarter of Scotland in wind turbines. And that'll only work when the wind's blowing. Otherwise, you've just got all these turbines spoiling the view and not working and not producing a single watt of energy. And it's worse than that. The amount of energy it goes in to make one of those wind turbines is greater than the amount of energy that they will generate in their working life. Stunning, isn't it? But these people, you see, they're very, very little brains. Tiny brains. Anyway, here's the bus that they eventually went on. It's you couldn't make it up. You really couldn't. Anyway, Sir Keir said, if we wait until North Sea oil and gas runs out, the opportunities this change can bring for Scotland and your community will pass us by, and that would be a historic mistake. When does he think oil and gas is running out in the North Sea? Britain's got about 5,000 years, minimum of 5,000 years of gas. Here's another little interesting fact. If you were to dig coal out the ground at the same rate as you did in 1975, and I use that year because that was the year we took the most coal out of the ground in any year historically. So if you were to dig coal out of the ground at the rate we did in 1975, this country has approximately 20,000 years worth of coal. So I don't think we're particularly bothered by energy production. What they're all doing, all the political parties are doing, is bowing to maniacs and morons. And we, for sure, do not have a global climate crisis. And you know that simply because of all the private jets running back and forth. If there was an actual crisis, as they keep claiming, the first thing you'd do is ban private jets. They haven't done that. You'd close Disneyland. You'd close Vegas. They haven't done that. Why haven't they done all this? Because it's all a lie, and it's all to do with putting prices up, having more control over people, creating a new serfdom so they can control us. That's all it is. And as long as you're aware of that, and then see everything they do, and see it through that lens, it all becomes absolutely clear. We have got more oil and gas than you can shake a stick at. So it's all bullshit. The same as the climate change. It's bullshit. There is no crisis as long as there's private jets. Anyway, he said, that a government led by him would ditch the effective ban on new inland turbines imposed by the Conservatives, claiming Britain could run on 100% clean power by 2030. That is quite clearly a lie, because there is absolutely no such thing as clean power. It's impossible, because you've got to go and drill to get the bauxite out of the hole in the ground before you can make these things. You've got to process this. You've got to transport that. What do you think these ships run in? Love, unicorn farts. The man is a moron. And of course, the more he speaks, the more moronic it becomes apparent that he is. He is absolutely thick as champ. And I can't even go on with the rest of it because it's all bullshit. But he's going on about, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. But you just know it's all crap. But the main thing that affects people is that he wants to shut down the whole of the North Sea oil drilling and the gas as well. They are major security issues. They are strategic resources. How does he think our armed forces will be fighting wars? Does he think it's going to be solar-powered tanks? Does he know how heavy a tank is? Does he know how much energy a little battery pack can produce, as opposed to one huge mother of a huge diesel engine? How does he think battleships are going around the world? How does he think fighter planes, stay in the air? The man is an absolute knob. And he's dangerous. And we can't allow him to become Prime Minister. And unfortunately, I think he may well be. But they're all stupid. They live in a fantasy world. Nobody ever says to them, do you know what? You need to shut up because you're fucking stupid. Nobody ever says this to them. People need to be saying this to them because these people are fucking stupid. They are morons. They are room temperature IQ. They keep saying these things, but they don't come up with viable alternatives. And like I say, when every house in this country is electric powered, which is the aim, and when every car is electric, we need to know how long it will take them to build the 36 nuclear power stations that will be needed to power that. It's taken 30 years to build one. Utter crap coming out the mouths of virtually every politician you ever meet when it comes to energy. Bonkers, aren't they? Anyway, I'm rounding up and I'm coming up. It'll be interesting to see after the next election how many people in the northeast of Scotland decided, yeah, actually, Sir Kier Starmer, you are a bit of a tosser and I'm not voting for you because I like, being able to put food on the table for my family as opposed to being unemployed. And what difference will it make to the world? I can tell you, it'll make none, zero, nada. Not one dot of a difference. Nothing. And in fact, there is a far more, shall we say, dangerous threat ahead. Not climate change. Climate change will actually sort itself out very, very quickly. But it will start to sort itself out within the next 15 to 20 years as the population starts to crash. Because 15 to 20 years we'll start seeing the beginning of the population crisis. And this is where there's all these old people and very few young people. And that is the biggest threat to the planet, not the climate change. The climate change is so far off in the future that actually energy will be the big thing that we need with an ageing population, because ageing people will need to be warm, will need all sorts of things, because there won't be young people there to save them. So don't be listening to morons like Kier Starmer who are going, oh, globalist elite have told me to say this, globalist elite have told me to say that. Stop it. Don't do it, and listen to common sense. Common sense tells you that they are lying, because they always lie. Doesn't matter who they are. We know the Tories lie, we know Labour lie, we know SNP lie. Doesn't matter. Any political party filled with lies, because none of them can tell you the truth. Anyway, I shall finish there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you hear and see on the channel, please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. And definitely leave a like, that really helps. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, stay warm, and goodbye.